everybody, and welcome along to League of Europe Division 3. We're at the penultimate round of the season, and we head to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, also known as Interlagos, for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it should be very exciting. We could see a champion being crowned today in the likes of Chris. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. My name is Jess Bull, and joining me in the commentary box, as per usual, I have got Liam New, also known as Mr. Evil Dragon. Liam, how are you doing tonight?
Not the world's greatest still. I mean, a little bit grumpy about racing recently, but it could be worse. I'll put that behind me, because racing in Brazil and commentating in Brazil, we just Dragon like a lot. I like Brazil. Got a first ever league racing pole here. I got my first ever technical league racing win with the penalty I got from it, but I'm still counting it. So yeah, I like Brazil. Of course, first hosting a race back in the 1970s. I was hosted F1 races all up and down. Of course, didn't miss quite a bit of the 1980s because that was at Rio de Janeiro. But came back in the 90s and it's been on the calendar ever so since. So it's a lovely place.
Yeah, I love this track as well. It's got quite a few interesting characteristics as well. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton recently gained citizenship in Brazil as well. We saw Mercedes get their first 1-2 of the season in real life and their first win in real life of this season as well, where they were looking quite really good. And it was actually quite a good sprint race as well. No sprint this week in Brazil, which I'm quite gutted about. The sprint that we're having is next week, the final round, in Abu Dhabi, so it will be interesting. I'm trying to find the permutation. So basically, if Chris either gets the win or gets second, third or fourth, no matter what happens, Cam will need to win the race. But if Chris wins, then there's no way that Cam's going to catch up. Chris will win the title. We'll go through the permutations as we go. Luckily, Cam's put together the permutations for us, so we don't need to worry about that, which is always good. And thank you, Cam, for publishing that for us as well. So we'll look at the track map before we head to the qualifying session. So here is the circuit then. So 4.309 kilometers long, 15 turns, and we have two DRS zones, one at the start finish straight, and then one heading towards turn 4 at the Cine de Largo, which is a really good overtaking spot in D. But there's certain drivers that will need to really redeem themselves, Lynn. There's quite a few people that put themselves out of title contention tonight, and also we could see McLaren take the constructors tonight too.
Yeah, it's going to be quite fun to see. Of course, it all depends about what the weather's going to be. And we here in Brazil, a circuit that has hosted quite a lot of races in its history is happily nice and dry for qualifying. But what about during the actual race? Well, we'll find out in just a few seconds' time what the weather is going to be as I go and ask the chat.
Just like you usually do. Don't spoil it for me, please, because I always like to be a little bit of a surprise. We do see one driver on the mediums, now two drivers on the mediums, because they don't want to use the soft straight away, because tyre wear is not too bad around here, as I found out by doing a few Brazilian races. A lot of cars are going out on circuit. The first driver, I believe, is one of the... it's Harry's teammate, Ryan Belshaw. That's the first man out on circuit. So he'll be the first person to do a lap. We will go through the standings in just a few moments' time, but there's quite a few other important facts around this circuit. It used to be 7.96 kilometres, this layout, but it had a bumpy track surface and there wasn't much safety barriers, unfortunately, so that's why it was removed. And then F1 returned to a safer, shorter circuit that we know today back in 1990. So yeah, it used to be as long as Spa, believe it or not, but obviously they changed the rules as well. And there's quite a few other interesting facts which we'll go through a little bit later on as well. And this track was actually named after Carlos Pache, who won this race at this very circuit in 1975, but then died, unfortunately, in a light air crash back in 1977. But Liam, I'll let you take us on a hot lap with Ryan Belshaw in the Williams as he's going through the start-finish straight.
Yep, so up the hill then, and of course dive it down then into what is, of course, named the centre race. You chuck it through over the curb. You can take a little curb on the right as well, but it takes a little bit course as you come through turn number 3 and then head down the long straight, and then it's into what I believe is turn 4. Very easy to make a mistake down here and start to brake and go straight on. Of course, we've seen many an incident down here in real life. Sebastian Vettel in 2012, pointing backwards in that corner. As you now rise up the hill again into what is, of course, the original circuit here still. It used to go the other way around, all the way through here. It used to cut right down there as you went down the hill. Now we're going back the right way of the original circuit. Now is going the correct way again. It gets a little bit confusing, this track does, when you look at old track maps. But racing it on a set of course, etc., I can tell you it's a lot of fun, especially when you go off the road at high speed and end up crashing into a tree. But no trees to crash into for Ryan as he comes through in to the last corner with Young Cow then as you rise up past the two towers on the right as now, of course, into the slight banking. Don't forget this circuit as well does have a oval layout. You can't use it anymore, but it does exist, so if you were wondering to, you could, but you can't. But P1 so far for him, immediately surpassed by his teammate Harry F in second. Along behind comes one of the two Red Bulls, one of the only one that's in the Session United's camp, 108.4, so that's a good lap time straight away. However, not for long.
And I think there's going to be more drivers that can maybe top that. We got Lars came across the line into P6. Matt Tibos just came across the line now in P5. What about our championship leader right now? He's going through the middle sector, but his teammate, though, Ghost, he's next across the line at 52.0 for his middle sector. But he's come and set a decent lap time with a 108.6 YHYY. And the other Alpha slots himself into P2. We've got one of the Ferraris of Mick, who is now out of the title fight. He goes into P5, but here is your championship leader that could be crowned champion tonight if all goes well, as long as he doesn't DNF. So Chris up to the line on a set of the mediums. And I have to say, that is very impressive on a set of mediums. Only a few attempts shy of morphs in P1 on a set of softs. So that means Chris could be the one to beat. And if you can, you're not liking this because there's a foul zone separating the both of them. But they're both on different tyres.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing, of course, both on different strategy. You presume Cam wasn't pushing the outright ultimate pace that he can get out of this car. Right now, he has been struggling in the last couple of weeks, of course, with his results. So it's been an up and down season for Cam. He did win, of course, the first race. Oh my god, I was witness mechanic get run over. Oh dear. Well, Cam's chief mechanic is no longer alive. A Ferrari mechanic has just ran him over. So rest in peace, the Red Bull mechanic there. Long live. In comes the Ferrari, in comes the Mercedes as well. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see who exactly doing what. As I look down at Slayer, as he's getting out of the way, I believe, of one of the two cars. Up the inside goes the Mercedes. That was a little bit close there. That was, I believe, that is Matty coming down, of course, Marigino then, down into Young Cow. And of course, at the last real corner on this circuit, of course, there is another couple of little kinks, of course. We got up here, which is, of course, the final actual corner, of course, which is Sabida de Boxer. That where a chicane lies just through there. But, of course, no, we don't use that. I haven't seen anyone use it. I think, of course, Brazilian stock cars might use it. But, of course, for the series I have watched over the years, including the World Endurance Championship, they don't normally use that. Of course, World Endurance Championship, very synonymous with a certain Mark Webber having a very familiar accent around here. Up the hill, end up having a big off. It's not the first time Mark Webber's had a big off up the hill around this circuit. 2003 comes to mind, of course, Fernando Alonso, who is somehow still on this grid in real life at age 465 million years old, is going on, of course, back all then, nearly 20 years ago now, of course, and it's 21 years since, of course, Alonso made his debut, staying on the season, of course, and staying on the grid for another couple of seasons, whilst we lose a couple of drivers. We lose, of course, Ricciardo, we, of course, lose Mick Schumacher, and, of course, Sebastian Vettel retiring as well, and, of course, Nicholas Latifi is gone as well from the grid. So, a changing of the guard in real life. However, of course, in League of Europe, the guard hasn't really changed much right now, but Chris, as per usual, showing his pace. We have got a few people in the pit lane. We've got a couple on outlaps, so I'll go on board with another driver and go for another lap when we get there. I believe it'll be Matt Tibbles, of course. No Melty today. Jess,
yeah, no Melty. Yeah, he's abandoned all of us.
Heartbroken. Again, so it's going to... I'm sad.
He doesn't like us, I think.
No, he doesn't like us. But here we go. Matt Tibbles in the Alpine, though, as he comes out of the last corner and, of course, down the straight to begin what is going to be a very hopeful lap time for the Alpine driver, of course. Chuck it down up towards turn one, like I said, uphill. And, of course, 207 miles an hour as you chuck it down into the curves, of course, curve 1 and into the center S, and then of course into the curve itself, turn number 3. As you can say, of course, it is a tricky corner where you get the first of 2 DRS zones down. You come down the Retroposta, and then of course into the Cida de Lago, which is turn number 4. Check it through there, that looked pretty smooth from the Alpines. You now come up through and up towards Ferradala, which is turn number 5, uphill right-hander, safe gear, chuck it down into 5th. You come through Lara Junior, and then, of course, into the S, and then, of course, down into Perarino, turn number 9. And this is one of those corners where it just doesn't end. You want to get the power nice and early, but too much power. Your car's going around. Through into Bico de Pato, then turn number 10, and that looked very smooth through the Alpine as well. And then back down the hill with through Marigino, and then, of course, into the real last corner. Young Cow, of course, get it nice and stopped, and then up through the power, up the gears, and, of course, you don't need to worry about traction through here unless it is, of course, in the wet, but of course in the dry, which we have right now. The Alpine driver comes up to line, take it nice and shallow up as well. It decides to go a little bit wide for Goodman. It goes up to P5 then for him, 108.358. So a good position then from Matt Tibbles until, of course, someone, 2 people and 3 people go and beat it immediately to ruin my conversation on that.
Yes, I think a few more people are going to beat that as well. We've got McLaren that's going into the pit. MCR's about to cross the line. Is he going to improve?
YH Purple.
YHYY Purple sector 2. He's been looking very good so far in qualifying. He was P2 at the start of the session. So is he going to do one better and get provisional pole position? The answer to that is a resounding yes. A 107.924. The first man into the 107s here tonight. And that is looking really, really, really good. Can anyone else get into the 107s? We'll have to wait and see. MCR is on that. We got Slayer and Ransam in the pits right now. We got Mercedes. That might be... No, it's not Ryan B because he's in the pits. We've got quite a few people in the pits right now. What about Maverick? Maverick's not feeling very well today, and he's still racing. So fair play to him. As he's gone off the track, as I said that. Wow. But
taking the old oval route nearly, lads. Yeah?
He did. So that's technically the circuit, but the wrong layout. So MCR then, he's going past Jung Sao then, as he finishes off his run. Mr. Consistent throughout some of the races, but is he able to finish his lap and get onto the 107s? 108.1, so he beats Matty, not quite beating Mort, only a few 100 reps separating between the pair of them. We got, I believe, YHYY's teammate of Lars. Nope, it's actually YHYY who's going into the pit lane because of how short the lap is. So that is most people's runs done, unless you're the championship leader, Chris, who almost got held up during that.
Yeah, it did get a bit held up. It's coming through Pico de Pato, and of course, like I said, down into Marigino, of course. There's the nice, lovely palm tree in the background. The only palm tree in this entire game. As well. Well, I think the only palm tree, yeah, literally in the entire game. I don't think every circuit has a palm tree. Maybe Miami has a few palm trees here and there. But I won't be surprised if it's the same as it. Here comes Chris up to the line, and he will be hoping to get into the 107s. He will not get into the 107s by 19/100ths of a second, mind. So he's got time to go again. One more strategy. Don't forget as well. There's this new update. You do get the option to do mediums, and you have more set to soft, so more alternative strategies as well. Goes across the line right now, P13 for him. So got a few people on lap times as well. Obviously got Matty up the line. He's going to go into pole position then. So 107.882 puts himself just under a 10th of a second ahead of YH. A good lap time then from the Mercedes driver, who is often the punching above his weight. What about Ghost? Is he actually pushing on for another lap? I think he might be coming in the pits, but he's definitely might be a lap time, but I can't really confirm it right now. What I will say
is he's burning his ERS.
Yep, so he is burning his ERS then, so he is going for one last attempt. Then he was punching the ERS on the previous lap, that's why I was a bit confused, but I guess he will carry on, and this comes through Pico de Pato, and then of course, like I said, down the hill all the way through here, through Marigino, and then, of course, down into Young Cal, the final corner on this second. Kimi Räikkönen went on an escape route down on the right a decade and a bit ago now, as he goes nice and through there. The crowd rises to ovations. He comes up to the line and comes into the pit lane. So I was right, he is not on a lap.
Yeah, he's not on a lap. The man that is on a lap, though, is Matt Tibos in the Alpine, the sole Alpine here today because Melty has abandoned us, unfortunately, as he's almost about 1.5 tenths up in the first sector then. So not quite quick than he would have wanted, but that would put him up a little bit, maybe into near Harry F's territory at the moment. Only a few people out on circuit. I'm just seeing if anyone is ahead on a lap other than Matt Tibos. Ryan Belshaw up to the line. He does not improve. I'm guessing he's going on a run. He's going on a run. So let's follow Matt Tibos then. Going through the windy, twisty section as you were going later on. And remember, at this very corner, something very interesting happened that decided the 2008 championship. It's that Glock moment happened around here. And we saw Lewis Hamilton.
Sector 2.
Yeah, purple sector 2. That's looking good for Matt Tibos then. But sometimes it's usually the game lying to us because the final sector is where sometimes they lose a time. But it could be true. 1:08.048 for Matt Tibos. And not that far between himself and Chris. That's a very stonking lap for Matt Tibos. Slayer's on a lap as well, I think. Yep, he is. But I wonder if he's going to dive into the pits as well. But Matt Tibos is setting a statement of being best of the rest right now.
Yeah, he certainly is. And like we said with Cam, he's all the way down there in 11th. This title, it was always going to be quite difficult for Cam to get it. But it's looking like it's certainly already could be slipping ever so slightly out of his hand. He will have the race to come, but he needs to get up the field as he's all the way now. Ryan B goes up to 9, so down in 12th position where he did finish in Jeddah, I believe, just 7 days ago. So you've got to be wondering right now, what can he do? Slayer, meanwhile, comes up to the line and goes up to 14th position, so a little bit of improvement for him. Looking down the field to see anyone else on a lap time. We've got Ryan B, he's coming in the pit lane. Harry F just starting a lap time as he comes through, of course, the center. As down the rest of Apostle, of course. And if you are wondering, Evil, where did the old circuit used to rejoin? Because you did mention this circuit used to go backwards. Yes, I'm correct. This section here was backwards. Now, if you are wondering, on the right-hand side, you might see a little bit of blue section on the infield, where the big jump normally is. That is where the old circuit used to join. Now, if you're getting wondering where did it rejoin, it rejoined here. It gets very confusing, this old circuit. I do applaud you. If you have got Assetto Corsa, there is a lovely mod out there you can download. It's very realistic as well. Obviously not laser scan, but it is very realistic, the modelled of what it would have been like in 1975. So if you are on that, do give it a check, as Harry F does some Houdini stuff down the hill and does some drifting in the meantime. So maybe he didn't really like that corner too much. A bit too much on the curb. Rear end again didn't stick. It's a very easy corner to drop it through there as well. It's kind of like a sticky curb, and very like it used to be on the older F1 games, of course. And brings back memories of 2012-13. You hit some of the curbs on there and you're going straight around. And, you know, these curbs are very abrasive on this game, as Ryan has invalidated his lap time, but he's coming in the pit lane anyway, so Ghost on lap time right now, 2 minutes 30, so he's not on a lap time. MCR is on a beginning lap time, 2 minutes to go in qualifying as he comes down into the Desago Delago. As I'll get it correct.
Decino Delago.
Yes, there we go. That way around. Cedar Delago. Get one way, I'll get it the right way around. Very do a lot in Larry Jr. Of course, like I said, into the S and then down into Perino. Very easy corner. So, a few incidents there, of course. If I remember correctly, that's the corner which poor old Kevin Magnussen was murdered. Or was it this one? It was one of the two. It was this one, I think.
Yeah, it was this one, I think.
Beaten up by Danny Rick in his last ever F1 race before joining Red Bull. Who's that going off the circuit? It's a Red Bull. Ironically, MCR, purple sector 2 as well. Now, he's another driver who is very close to that pole position. I mean, this pole could really swing any way right now. Here's MCR up to the line. Keeps it hugged to the inside. 107.8 to beat. 108.0 again. So there's 3 people within, at least 4 or 5 people within a tenth or two, Jeff. This is very close. 1 minute to go. Everyone on outlaps. Ryan B up to the line right now. Is he on a lap time? 108.3. So I think he's going again. Yep, it certainly will be going to get set exact same lap times he did last time around. Ghost up to the line. He is invalidated. Maverick on a lap time, like you said, is ill. So we are looking down in the field yet again. We've got Mort up to line. Is he on a out lap? Yes, he is. So he's gone for another lap then. So 1 minute to go in qualifying. Who on a lap time? Ryan B. Certainly on the lap time right now. We've got that gaggle of cars up the road as well. I don't believe any of them on a push lap right now, so we'll run on board with Ryan B through the right-hander, gets it all over the curb right there, and that is absolutely what you want to be doing through here. And then, of course, let the car drift a little bit out wide. He's backed out the slot. He's backed out. Doesn't need to because he's got a bit of time behind, but that's his lap time and his quali over then as we now get ready for this mad dash then with what is 40 seconds to go. Absolutely everyone apart from Harry, apart from Ryan and Naramsam.
And now MCR.
Yeah, MCR as well. Here's Mick up to the line. There's big end. He's at a lap time as well. And this is going to be the interesting one. Who is closest so far? Lars not on a lap time. So we look further down as oh, car off. Who's that? That is Mick off the road, and that is through the centre rest. The car's not stuck, so go on the curb. Rear end's going around. That is Mick's qualifying done then, and he will start in 11. Yep, like you are correct. Got people coming up to the line right now. Mortz goes up to P2 then, front row of the grid behind him. Matt Tibbos up to the line, 7100 up on his time. The Alpine can he get himself on the front row. Second row for him. Behind that, we've got the Alfa Romeo. A White has invalidated. Chris as well. 3 temps up, blistering the middle sector right now. Is he going to go into the 107.5s? I'm wondering. Up to line he comes. It's going to be a 107.6 then. And surely pole position behind him. Cam up to 7th. Up the line comes the other Ferrari, the Mercedes of Ryan B does not improve. Then we got these gaggle of cars. Lars getting all caught out there by, I believe that was Maverick getting out of the way then. So Lars having to kind of concede that lap a little bit, but he's still pushing on then. So can he get himself up the road? And can he get himself any positions right at the depth? And he needs to kind of get a 108.3. And the answer is a 108.5. So it does improve, but not by position wise. And I believe that is really the end of qualifying and done and dusted. Mortz in the pit lane, so he has done that one. So your running order, Jess. Chris on pole, one hand on the trophy because that's where he needs to be.
Yep, that's where he needs to be, and pretty much if he wins, no matter what Cam does, he wins the title. So we will go through it during a little interlude at the moment as goes for ties. So basically, If Chris wins or finishes second with fastest lap, Chris wins the title. If Chris finishes second, third, or fourth with fastest lap, Cam must win. If Cam finishes 4th to 7th, he must finish second or third, and then it's 4th, 5th, 6th. So basically, Cam needs to finish 7th or higher to even stand a chance of winning the title. But I will let you go through our running order for today's qualifying session.
So Chris then gets pole position here today for the Brazilian. Also, we say the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Matty alongside him on the front row. Mort in third, and a lovely another result for him. Whitehates in 4th. Matt Tibbles in 5th. MCR from Cammy Lamb in 7th. Ross in 8th from Ryan. Harry, Ryan, Mick, Ghost, Lars, Maverick, Slayer, and Ramsam. And Marty did not set lap times at the back.
So there we go then. Those were the ones who did not set lap times and the ones who really shined in this qualifying session as well then. So we will keep an eye on the permutations. What?
Matty really impressed there. Only 56 thousandths off the pole.
Yeah, that is quite close. To be fair, quite close between a lot of the drivers, as you were saying. So I think, Liam, we could be on for a very good race, and I'm very excited. I know it's penultimate round of the season, but Brazil in league racing always tends to bring out a cracker. It's a really good race to watch and commentate on, so hopefully the drivers will think the same, of course. And it does bring some rain on the horizon, but I don't think we've got rain today. So no rain. Dry race then for everyone, which is good, as someone that was very keen and readied up too early. But 30 seconds to go before the formation lap, and then we will know what tyres I'll be starting on. If I were them, I would start on the mediums, because the mediums is the better race tyre around here. But there may be people that want to go long on the first stint, start on the hards, and then they have the option to go on the mediums or the softs, depending on how effective their tyre wear is, or if their tyre wear is rubbish, then I'll have to probably go onto the mediums instead of the soft tyres. So 18 drivers here today. We're missing 2 drivers here in League of Europe. Of course, we've got Division 1 also going on at the same time as us. You can watch that and their title was decided ages ago. So if I were you, Division 3 is the stream to watch because we still got a title to decide. Division 1 or the other title, so shush. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on the McLarens because I don't know how much they need to outscore to win the Constructors. They haven't given me any permutations for that, so that's annoying. But, Liam, I will let you go through the tyres.
Yeah, so on the hard tyres, we have got Chris. On the mediums, we've got Matty. Mort has got those hards on. Behind him, we've got the medium shot runners then. Whitehate's Matt, MCR, and Cam on the mediums. Suey's got a hard tyre run. We've got mediums for Ryan and Harry. Ryan's got the soft tyres on, so he's got nothing to lose. He's going pedal to the metal then. Behind him, Mick in 12th on the mediums. Ghost in 13th on the mediums. Lars in 14th, got the hards. Maverick on the mediums. Slayer on the mediums. Naramsam on the mediums. Bring up the rear. And on the hard as well. Marty as well. I'm disappointing Jess right now. She thought I'd do it the other way around. Because she liked when I say it that way around, apparently.
Shush, Liam, shush.
As we discovered last week, accidentally, invertedly. But Chris, look, he's got one chance to win this title today. And that chance is cross the line in first and, well, just outscore Cam. Now, it doesn't really matter what he does, as long as he outscores Cam. That is what he needs to do to win this title. He gets himself into grid position then. And Matty will be on the inside line alongside him as well. So, of course, it's a short run down towards turn 1. Remember, of course, top couple of cars start pointing uphill. Back row also pointing uphill, I believe, still actually on this game. So, it doesn't really matter. This grid is slightly wrong. In real life, it should be slightly different. But everyone pointing uphill compared to, of course, in real life. A few people disqualified at the back as well. Marty, last car on the grid then. And here we go then for the 5 red lights. Look, but certainly never stare, because here we go, and it is going to be away, and it is a good start from Chris. Then behind him, here comes Matty. Has he got a good start? Terrible start. Chris has got a stormer through into turn number 1 then. The host of the lobby, well, that certainly might be because the tyres are going to be warmer for him than everyone else then. Is everyone getting through the centre rest correct? It looks like everyone will do. A Cam, they're up already into 6th position, so the start he needs then is to try and make a few positions. Here it comes, Ross there, trying to go around the outside in turn number 4. That's not going to work. One car up the road going very wide. Look like one of the Aston Martins getting triggered up and getting caught out as well as he come through. Ferradula for the first time. 2 by 2 we come, and it is going to be the Aston Martin battling with the Alpine, the Red Bull. That fought about Lons up the inside behind them. A little bit squiggly behind you. You've got MCR with Ross, Ryan. Then we got the other Ryan trying to take a bit of piece of the pie and a bit of the grass as well around the outside line. That's going to work through there, and be careful doesn't get clobbered by his teammate. But absolutely critically, everyone has got this first couple of corners, this first lap almost completely correct. Apart from there, who's that in the wall? There's a big off there. Is that Maverick off the wall? Has he not got damage? He hasn't. So he's got away with that. Someone else off the road as well. Is that Marty
and
coming to Marty and Aramsam coming to blows as well. So I was about to say everyone got away with that scot-free, but they don't. Because 2 comps together, Maverick dropped it, and he's already in trouble. Marty and Aramsam tripping over each other as well. But Chris leads this race then from Matty.
Yes, Chris definitely got the start he needed to keep his, with the one chance of winning the title here today as well. And that would be absolutely amazing for his confidence going to the final round in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, Cam doing what he needs to do at the moment, but surely he wants to gain more positions than that. Apart from Chris, the best other hard runner is D-Morse. He's had a good start as well, up to 4 white, while White doing well in 3rd position. We got quite a few people in the pits. Maverick's in as well. Marty's got past Naran-Sam, so I think Maverick got away the worst.
Chris has made a mistake.
Chris has made a mistake. Matty is now your race leader. Someone else has spun. That's Matt Tibos. Now, the curse of the Alpines continue here at League of Europe, and Matt
and
Tibos.
Another one, Jess. That's Marty as well. Dropped it. Really struggling around here. There's no grip on this circuit, but Matt Tibos making that mistake earlier on. Unfortunately, Matty, their fast lap of this race. Matty's been a driver. We didn't mention him a few times. He is very fast around here. He just needs some luck. That's what he needs to have this season. He has not had very much luck. Now he's got that gap. Another yellow flag. Who's that? Ghost off the road as well as that turn 1.
Ryan Belshaw. Sausage curve in turn 1.
Belshaw. Maverick as well dropped in. Oh, the car's pointing in the wrong direction as well as
That was close.
It's all getting a little bit messy right now, isn't it? But they're just about surviving. Matt Tibos won't be driving up the inside there of Ryan. And sits back right now. But Matty leads this race. Chris in second. Up behind him, Whitehead's closing though.
Yep, he is. Right, wants to win this badly as well. He may want to capitalise on Chris making a mistake too, so he's going to hope that he can put a lot of pressure on. Meanwhile, Slayer and Mick going side by side as Maverick is out of this race. Mick got very squirmy there in the middle sector.
Oh,
He's gone off.
Oh, two cars off.
Slayer's off as well. There's lots of carnages happening in the space of a few corners. And
that's going to be close, and he had to bail out of that one, then force the car back spinning because coming up, these two young goes at the wrong time. Had to check out of it and dropped it. And immediately, here's Mick diving into the pit lane. Has he got any damage? That's early.
I think he's got damage. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, you'd imagine so.
Oh,
Ryan B getting on the curb.
VSC.
That's not a VSC.
Oh, right, it's just yellow flags in all 3 sectors. Okay.
Yeah, it's yellow flags all 3 sectors, so we're all fine there. That's just because it's Maverick's AI at the last corner. Then we got Slayer at the last corner, he's dropped it, and we've also got Maverick's AI, which is at turn number 4. So that's what we're seeing.
Spinned it again.
Yeah, he's struggling to get back to the pits now. These tyres are overheating. We're in a kind of a bowl-shaped area where it's very easy for the car. Just when you start making mistakes, you're going round and around. But up front, Matty now got a 1.2 second gap, 1.3. Starting to pull away then from your championship leader. 2 different strategies on compounds as Slayer gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane and retires diligently as well to make it 2 retirements straight in the pit. So we're already down to 16 runners, and of course I'd imagine those 2 might get a little bit slapped on the wrist for retiring a lap early. We don't like seeing retirements in the pit lane really either, but I guess for Slayer, he kind of was pretty much out this race no matter. With the lap down already, Maverick retired earlier on as well. We don't know if he had any floor damage. That would have made it
He retired in
difficult.
the pit lane, Maverick did.
Yeah, we know he retired, but what he retired for?
He was in the pits, but I wonder if he got damage earlier on and he wasn't feeling great maybe, and he didn't want to cause that much trouble. Oh, we had a yellow flag, that Slayer AI again. So yes, as White almost was going to do a send on Chris there through turn 7, but he's
around the outside. Down into Pico Tabato. Might have a good exit here. He doesn't, so never mind. I was about to say, if he gets a good exit through here, Jesse, he can have a lunge, but
he doesn't want to take too many risks, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't take too many risks. You wanted to sit back. You got the DRS, of course, and Chris will not have the DRS as well. You would imagine Chris isn't going to fight this too heavily right now. He has got some things to lose, but he has got more to gain than the cars behind as well. He's got Cam not too far back even. Talking of Cam, with the help of DRS, you're going to try and take him there. Here comes YHY right around the outside, then down towards turn 1. And Chris, I think Chris decides he doesn't want to battle that too heavily. Up the inside, here comes Cam, up into 4th position. So now, 2 championship protagonists, Linus Stern. And remember, Cam, who's burned all of his ERS really as well, is Mort's going to be able to come straight back at him. No, he's not. Cam's going to cover the inside line. Regardless, just to kind of cover off any opportunity. Didn't really need to do that too much, but just try and cover off the slipstream effect as well. But now up into 4th, Chris in 3rd. This championship still got a little bit of a glimmering hopes, but it's certainly going to be difficult. Like we said, for Cam, needs to win this race. And like to be fair, he has been rather of a master of the Canadians. The Canadian of the American Tour, he has won. Pretty much, I think he's won all the American races so far this season.
He's won Miami, the race, and he won the full race. He didn't win the sprint race. He started at the back of the grid in the sprint race.
He won Canada as well, I think, didn't he?
I can't remember. I literally can't remember. It's been that long ago since we started Eloise. It's just quite difficult. But we've got 4 drivers. Yellow flag. That is Mick.
Not Mick.
That's Lars. Lars has gone off in Jungsao. Well, let's hope I don't go off in Jungsao because I've done that a lot in practice recently.
Yeah, so it's an easy call to make a mistake. Get too much on the car, but remember, you just kind of stick away from it. You can touch. You want to take a bit of a wider entry and then clip the curb, but don't mount it. It's one of those higher curbs, of course. Like it is for here into turn, into Lee's corners. Hit the ins. You can hit that curb. Hit the one before it, and you will go around. These are the flat curbs you can hit, but it's the raised curbs We want to kind of give him a little bit of leeway as well. We'll go through here right on bottom Matty because he is the leader. He'll be coming up to them first. So on the inside here, these are the curbs you don't want to hit. You don't want to hit this curb here because it's it'll unsettle the car ever so slightly. It's very easy to make a mistake. The outside curb as well. This one as well, you can see very raised curb. Exit as well, and that's the thing, Jesse, on this track. And quite a lot of them in this game. The flat curbs you can get away with. That's why the circuits, like of course Jeddah, they do have quite flat curves. So the corners are absolute pain in the bum. So pretty bad analogy on that one. But there is some circuits quite easy. As on the inside here we got Cam and Chris going side by side. And is this going to work? Inside line for Cam, outside line for Chris. They're going to touch then. The two protagonists then. And they touch slightly as they got DRS. Who's got DRS in these two? It's going to be Chris who's got the DRS on him as here comes Mort trying to come alongside. Can't quite do it, but Cam there battling a Chris then as they came through turn number 1. It was the outside line for the Red Bull. The McLaren there was not going to give an hint. It was back off or we will come together there as they close the door slightly. And Cam just managing to get alongside. They give each other enough respect, but it's always pretty sketchy. Cam's been spun. Cam has been hit by Mort. In the position where he doesn't need to was fighting the championship lead up. The championship protagonist sent spinning round down into 9th.
Well, that's not good because 9th will not give you anything to do with the championship anymore. So I think Cam must be very frustrated, but he's still catching up to Harry F and Ryan B, so he's not out of the woods yet. You never know, there could be some penalties for some drivers because it is prone to for drivers getting penalties for exceeding track limits. Meanwhile, we've got Ross on Ryan B's tail, Harry F on Ryan... Ross on MTR's tail, Harry on Ryan B's tail. I'm just trying to get my words right at the moment. But Matty's already pulling away from the rest of the field. He's broken free of DRS from White to Y, but Harry F going to try and go around the outside into Cena Largo, but a bit too far to do so. At the moment, we got Ghost on Cam now. Matt Tibos, who's 11th position. He's a little bit too early back. Don't forget in LOE, top 12 do score points. So if you're on the top 12, then you will score points. And I'm not sure, I can't remember about fast lap, but I'm not entirely sure about that one. Lap 9 of 36. Around about lap 16 will be the optimal time for drivers to go to the pits for set out the hard tyres if you're on the mediums. On the hards, you would come in around about lap 20 if you want to get some mediums on, or you can stretch it 6 more laps to go on to a set of the soft compounder tyres. But again, we'll have to wait and see. White's got a little bit of a slipstream for Matty and DRS as well, but not quite enough to close in on Matty. And you can see Matty DRS management is pretty good, even though he's pushing for his pace. I have to say, looking like he could challenge at the moment. But Harry F on the back of Ryan B once again. I think he's going to be a little bit too further back. You can see Ryan B's straight line speed is just a lot better, isn't it, with the DRS?
Yeah, he's helping, of course, living that little slipstream train. Right, we got a bit of a DRS train, of course. MCR, Ross, Ryan, Harry further back down the field. Marty's just got past the Ram. Sammy's just dived into the pit lane just a few seconds ago, of course, for the first stops of this afternoon. But we did mention, of course, we do have this train of cars 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we've got, of course, Mort, who is now dropped back away from Chris. We do believe, of course, it is. It was very much looked like there was contact with Mort, especially from my perspective on board with Cam, because Cam's car suddenly sped up and then went spinning around. So unless it was a bit of a desync, but it definitely looked like there was some form of contact. Remember, these Formula 1 cars, it's the slightest touch can spin a car straight around, and when you are in that pendulum, there is not a lot you can do. And Cam has now got not a lot of pace in the car, so he needs to rebuild it and try and get back to these guys. So here comes Rossi, close enough to think about a move down in towards Turnham. Not too far back yet again. He'll be punting off the front wing and going into the side pod of the Aston Martin, running fourth and fifth so far this afternoon. Here comes Ross, now with DRS, now with slipstream, now pulls up to the inside line. That's a relatively much more easy manoeuvre. He gets the inside line as long as they give each other room, which they don't, and there's contact, and there's a pile up, and there is two, and there, unfortunately, Ryan B. Well, I was about to say, as long as they give each other room, they didn't. And unfortunately, Ryan B caught up in that one as well. Got squeezed, did he? MCR spinning around into the middle of the pack. And Ryan rather might have thought, hey, we're going to get saved here by the Invisible Man. And the Invisible Man didn't come. So now he's no damage done for him, but that's not what he wanted. But now if I'm wondering if I'm MCR, would I be considering coming in the pit lane? Ramzan's dropped it number 1. No safety car.
He's going to be lapped though, I think, at some point if he's not careful.
Yeah, here he is. Let's see, is MCR going to consider bailing out of this strategy? Nope, stays out then. So up the inside comes Harry F, and that's that job done. Let's go up again. Will be Cam, and Cam just needs to be kind of a little bit conservative, be a bit consistent, and get the pace back up. His championship rival, a few positions up the road, about 3-4. He's a bit of a gap. It's around about 7-8 seconds, but Cam's a good driver. He's still got it. Meanwhile, Matt Tibos has found the wall down at turn number 1, has he? No, he's got away with that front wing damage, but he's certainly spun the car through the center S as he's spun the car through the exit of the center S, and that's always a scary place to be pointing backwards. Yes. And he finds a reverse gear. We'll do a flick spin back through, thanks to the ghosting system for good measure for saving him, as well as through goes Marty as well. So Matt Tibos finds himself now down in 12th position.
Yes, still in the points though. Question with a good intent. So yeah, he's still in the points, which is really great to see. As someone has had a moment, Liam.
Ryan and Mick coming together there, and Mick giving a bit of a squeeze to Ryan, and Ryan rather giving a little bit of elbows back at it. Then as they kind of touch, rubbing wheels, and a bit aggressive there, I'd say, from Mick. It kind of feels like one of those races where it's a little bit of a mistake here, a little bit of a mistake there, and up and down racing, and we do have it, of course, sometimes. It's a little bit of a rodeo show. Again, and that's what we do love about League of Europe. These drivers push absolutely incredibly hard. Here comes MCR.
Spun. Right, there's an Alpine that spun. That's Matt Tibos.
Yeah, here goes Cam. Is he thinking? No, not thinking about the move. For a second, had a little bit of a lunge potentially up the inside of MCR, but he needs to get these maneuvers done pretty soon, doesn't he?
He's got to be savage to even stand a chance.
Yeah, well, right now, he's 8th. Might be 7th in a second. He gets a lunge up the inside. No, thinks against it yet again. So still can't do it. It's off the road. Who's that now?
That is
Ryan B.
He
was very close with...
Very close with the other Ryan B.
Yeah, he was. They came through each other there. In comes Matt Tibos into the pits for it at a hard compound tire. This has been a hectic race so far, hasn't it? We've only got 30 laps into this race. 23 to go.
Yes, I think it's going to be getting quite spicy towards the end, so grab your popcorn and make sure you do listen in as Matt Tibos gets onto a set of hards to the end of the race. And Harry F's in as well onto a set of the hard compounded tyres. They will hope for a safety car that will bring them back into this race. Yellow flag, that's probably just people moving out the way.
Yeah, Matt Tibos moving out the way, he's a lap down.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he? As Cam gets past MCR, up to 6th position, only just though. He gets past him, as Lars is now ahead of Harry F now. So Cam's got to find 2.5 seconds to close in on Ross. And then they will reach back the other cars near the front as well, and he doesn't want to get tangled up in that again. And by the way, his teammate has had a bit of a spin. That's Marty.
Yes. NRS catching another victim this afternoon then, so they are struggling quite thoroughly through that one, but yeah, it's one of those afternoons, isn't it?
Yes.
Matty continues this lead then, 0.8 per second from YHYY. Chris on those hards hasn't got anything.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. He seems to be struggling to catch up to the likes of YHYY and Matty, but he's still in a position that if he outscores Cam, he will be champion anyway. So he is definitely where he needs to be anyway. As Ross has got past Mortz. Mortz had a bit of a moment, and his history repeats itself once again because Cam is now on the back of Mortz. Now, let's hope that tradition doesn't repeat itself here and that they battle cleanly, please.
That should be a relatively easy manoeuvre this time around, you'd imagine, for Cam. DRS down it towards turn number 1. Doesn't need to fight him too heavily right now, but what does he think about that? That's up to what Cam thinks, really. Can afford just to give it a little bit of a wide berth. Mediums versus hard compound tyres. Might try to go around the outside here, but again, it's going to be difficult to go around the outside here. You might consider a lunge up the inside, but again, it's a bit too risky right now for Cam. He doesn't want to get himself in damage. He doesn't want to get himself caught up with a penalty. Trying to get around the outside is not going to help. Going up the inside is not going to help more. It's rather blocking a little bit right now, just slowing him up. But it's not going to matter too much through the last corner. And here goes Cam down with DRS, and we'll pull to the right-hand side of the circuit as now get some slipstream with some DRS. In comes on the hard command does. That's an early stop. And both of the Aston Martins double stacking. That's not worked well, has it?
No.
That's weird.
That is weird. Now, I was expecting MCR to come in because he's on the medium.
Damage?
So has Mort's got damage?
Front wing damage.
Yes, front wing damage. That probably explains it. He could just about get to the end, but
screwed his teammate, Jess.
He screwed his teammate, so that's not ideal. And MCR was running well as well, so I think there's going to be words in the Aston Martin camp at the end of this race, I can almost tell you that. Meanwhile, still the battle's going strong between the likes of Matty and the YHYY for P1 and P2 of this race, both of them on the medium compounder tyres, and we'll see if the gap starts closing on the likes of Chris. Now, I will check the permutations, no matter what happens now. Chris will be champion because he is outscoring Cam. And Matty is in the pits. YHYY stays out. So he's going for the overcut then on Matty. Chris obviously will stay out for a few more laps. I think so will Lars as well. Lars, I have to say, doing a pretty good job on those hards. Not been in that much trouble. A few spins, but at least he's still in this race. And running in a respectable 7th position.
Yeah, up in 7th right now. Still yet to stop from earlier on. He will have to stop at least one more time. So he's going to stretch him to around about lap 30 if he can get him. Go on a set of softs. Have some fun. Go to the end of the race. He's going to come out probably down in around about 13th, 14th position when he does eventually stop. He's got a RAF right behind him as well on those fresher, harder compound tyres. So might be imagining he's fighting too heavily. Who's that ghost off the road? Down at turn, that's the S corner down out before Perino then. So turn 8 and 9. So Ghost has dropped it, and that's going to be the wall. And is that going to be the yellow flags coming out? Front wing gone. And there's certainly damage there. A lot of brake, slightly off the racetrack. So he might just get away with that one. But that's Ghost in a ghastly situation for the McLaren driver, and will be pretty much ordered out of the way now, these two drivers, I'd imagine, and pulls out the way, doesn't want to get involved in it. So bit of sportsmanship between those. One way YY comes into the pit lane for a set of hard compound tyres. And where is Matty going to be with this one then as he comes down towards someone? Overcut or undercut? Which one worked? What a warmer tyres at the beginning. They're going to come very close out the pit lane then. If we come then. Now, I think YY might come out just like ahead. They're going to be coming side by side down into Tessina Delago if they're not careful. He has come out ahead. The overcut strategy working for YHYY. He leads this race, but now needs to get those tyres immediately up the temperature. Because remember, it takes a couple of corners. It takes a couple of laps. So here's Matty's opportunity to try and snatch one back then. Through he come. Are we going to see a lunge up the inside potentially? No, not quite so. But he's going to see where he can go then. Might think about a move on the outside then. These hard compound tyres. Stone cold straight out the pit lane. Remember, like I said, you start the hard compound tyres. You get all the grip at the start. You can't pit and go on the hard tyres. You do not get a lot of grip for the first couple of laps. So this is going to bring anyone behind who's got an opportunity to come into this one through the last corner. Matty with a bit of help of DRS as Marty picks up a time. But right, here comes Matty with DRS. Which way is he going to go? Left or right? And I don't think Whitehead's going to be able to put too much of that up the inside. Here goes Matty. And back into the net lead of this race. But let's see. Can he get the car stopped? Yes, he can. Can he cover him off, though, down on the exit? That's the thing. Here comes Whitehead. He's going to burn the ARS. And he's going to try and come straight back out. And Matty's going to have to go cover this one. Let's see which way you're going to go up the inside. Comes Whitehead's YY back down the inside. Hasn't got the job done. They're still side by side through turn number 4. Give each other just a bit of a space then on the outside. Through they come then. Out of Tessina Delago. Up through then into Ferradula. Into turn 5. And on the inside still there. And he's got the position back. Matty back up in the 4th. Battling for their lives though on those hard cold tyres.
Yeah, they're battling like their life depends on it, Liam, and I absolutely love it. So I hope this continues for the rest of this race. Right, with the newer tyres, he will come to life towards the end of this race. So he really needs to make sure that he can keep up with the pace of Matty, so otherwise Matty will fly away with this as well. The gap was around about 5 tenths before they got into the pits as well, and it's dropped to 6 tenths, so really it's roughly about the same. So we'll see how that fares as Ross is in for his stop, which it is expected to be on a set of the medium tyres, which we'll get to the end quite easy. I don't know why Cam is staying out, because
See,
those...
we can stretch it.
He's trying to stretch it, but...
Soft tyres can do 12, 13 laps. That's the thing, of course. I've seen the softs last quite a bit, so if Cam can stretch these tyres...
There could be a safety car.
And there is a safety car later on. He could be in chance to go on a set of softs, and of course he can have 2 sets, so... Why
As
not take
Ross
the risk?
goes, Ross fighting with Lars in the pit, out in the end of the pit lane. Lars just about gets ahead, but we can see a fight between Lars and Ross for the foreseeable future. But Ross is on the newer set of the mediums, which, like you were saying, it does take longer to get up to temperature, but less less time than obviously the hards. It's around about 5 tenths of a difference between the mediums and the hards. So as long as Ross could get past Lars, the clear air should help him a little bit. Chris is in then for a set of the medium compound of tyres, because he obviously started on the hards, so you have to use different tyre compound. So there he goes on to a set of the mediums until the end of this race. So where is he going to come behind?
He'll come out in third.
In fourth, I think.
Stop to. Net third, of course, counting when Cam stops and Cameron, but 20 laps on those tyres right now. We've seen
Fair
the hard
play to him,
combat
though, but I don't
tyres.
think it's going to get to the point where it's for softs, but we'll see.
And he's kind of gambling on it now, isn't he? He's past the point where you can imagine going on a set of hards.
He has passed the lifespan of set mediums, though, Liam.
Yeah, he is, but we know these tyres on this game, they last a bit longer. If he can stretch them until lap 24, 25, you've got a set of softs at the end. That would do nicely. Tyres don't look too bad right now. He is losing quite a bit of time to Matty and Whitehates, but he's got nothing to lose right now. He's kind of just got a gamble. We get a safety car.
I'm surprised we haven't had a safety car, to be honest. Usually we have at least one at this point in the race, now in Division 3. So good job for not having any safety cars.
We have had quite a few incidents, quite a lot of yellow flags, but just no one's managed to go deep enough into the wall to knock the tyre off.
We only had two retirements, but they were in the pit lanes.
Yeah, exactly, both in the pit lane, so...
I don't think there were any safety cars in Division 1 either, so at the moment.
Keeping it nice and clean, aren't they, around Brazil, of course. A track we did see safety cars in real life around here, and safety cars certainly would spice things up, so...
White, white. No, he's a bit too further back. But Ross could go for a move on Harry F then.
Yeah, you got him on the Ross right now. He's in the slipstream. Should just close up enough. They're going to both post that ERS, so I think too far back. Yellow flag.
That is an Sam.
Drops it to the inside of the corner, and he'll get himself back going in due course as well. Oh, wait, now he's beached it. And if I was him, I'd use a reset track right now.
You will get Pete, I think. I'm trying to think. I know one league, if you do a reset to track, as long as you can prove you beached it, it should be fine. Is it LOE?
It is LOE. Well, I mean, we look at LOE's disqualified, so never mind. Beached it, can't get going again. Game's disqualified him, and got stuck.
As long as you can prove yourself that you're beached, then you can reset to track.
Yes, however, it's too late now because he's no longer in the session.
Yeah,
so,
but if you don't get caught resetting to track, you should be fine.
Yeah. That's entirely true, and in the situation of that, it would have been completely fair to reset, but maybe it doesn't have a reset button. I know some people, well, no, you just press pause and reset, don't you?
Yeah, pause and reset, there's no reset button, Liam. As Ross goes down the inside into T1 on Harry F, and Ross is up into 5th position, and to be honest, driving really, really well this afternoon in the Ferrari.
Yeah, he's got that one then, so now up into 5th, we've got, what, 13 laps to go, so, tell you what, that gamble on Cam going maybe on the set of softs and then just go bees knees to the wall, it's not looking like it's going to be too much of a different strategy, as long as he doesn't end up getting caught up in these guys squabbling. If I was him right now,
I would stay out maybe 1-2 more laps. Matty and White are going to get past him anyway.
Yeah, they'll get past him, it's just really kind of damage limitationing it right now. Don't end up tripping over from this one. If your strategy's working, you can go and set a soft from here, and he's going to come in the pit lane, so I'm going to guess that's what he's doing. And
that
he
will be a
and
bit early. He's probably listening to the stream, Liam.
24 out of 36, so what, 12, 13 laps to go? Quite possible. I mean, I remember doing 15 laps on a set of softs in other leagues as well. So, yeah, on set of softs then, so medium soft then, and we'll go to the end of this race. He'll come out in clean air. He's got a bit of a gap then to Mort, and right now he's into that 7th position we need. He's got to hope Chris somehow drops it into a wall.
It's not much of a difference, to be honest, because the hard to soft window is pit lap 26 for a set of softs.
Yeah, so it's not too much different. And you look, I wonder what Chris can do right now in this race. He hasn't been at his sparkling best, but he's doing what he needs right now to get on that podium position, and he's not too far off from those two up the road. 3.2 seconds, so he is closing slightly. 3 laps to 6 and 7 lap old tyre, so reasonable conditions. We've got yellow flags, and that is Marty off. And again, another car misses the wall.
A lot of people hitting walls, but luckily not too heavily. So Marty is still in this race, but unfortunately, he's missing his chance in getting some points.
Yeah, he is right now, but there's only one driver's going to drop it, and he'll be straight back in it again. So, as never say anything, unless, of course, it's the 3, which is Marty, Matt, or Ryan. You drop it, in which case, then they won't get points. By the way, as we got Mort battling with Harry, and Mort's now ahead of Harry as Harry tries to push up the line. Let's see, good exit through here, and he might try and re-attack, but Harry from earlier on, he's just dropping back, isn't he?
Yep, he does seem to be dropping back from the rest of the field, but, well, to be honest, he's probably going to be worried about Cam in a couple of laps' time, but he might get him back once Cam's tyres start to die a little bit as well. So it will be interesting to see how that battle develops as well. So at the moment, as it stands, Chris has one hand on the championship trophy. So as long as he finishes and outscores Cam, that's less maths for us to do. But Chris has been driving really well all season. He's made a few mistakes, to be honest, but he's keeping it cool, not being able to catch up to the top 2 just yet. But you never know, because those mediums are looking pretty good and tasty for Chris at the moment. At 26 of 36, so 11 laps to go of this Brazilian Grand Prix, this Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And the ones that gain the most positions are the likes of, well, Marty's gained 5 positions, but the ones in the top 10 were Harry and Mick, even though Mick has had quite a few spins. But I have to say Harry has been a lot better in terms of his consistency and stayed out of trouble most likely, as Lars have got past MCR up into 10th.
Yeah, no position then for Lars, then now into the top 10. Might not stick there, though, because here comes MCR, and where you're going to go around the outside or inside, well, you're going to be forced to go the long way around, so make sure you keep it clean, of course, and MCR tries to go the long way around. It's going to be difficult, and can't quite do it through there. We might try and burn Timmy Harris up here, but Lars has him covered, so not a lot he can do right now. Ryan up behind Mick, and we've got Cam closing more and more, and yellow flags, and there is Marty yet again dropping it down at the center S, and that's the 3rd time he's done that, and so many laps. Must be careful with the unghosting. Pulls out the way of Ryan. He'll probably be rather thankful for that one. There's a little bit of sportsman showing right there up front. Matty and right, still closing up. Another yellow flag. That's Marty again. So,
Marty again who spun. Yeah, there's no fun for the Red Bull. There's loads of people beginning with M. Matty, Matt Tibos, Marty. Oh, God.
MCR.
Well, that doesn't count because he's not a Matt.
Maverick.
No, he doesn't count because he's not a Matt. Shush.
Well, neither's Marty. That's Marty, not Matt.
But they sound quite similar. Marty, Matty, whatever. Ryan B is now in 9th position. That is quite interesting. He's one of the only ones who hasn't gained or lost
Marty.
anything.
Oh, that's Marty, not Matty. I thought it was...
Liam, you panicked me. You done it again, yes.
No, I thought for a second he got a penalty there. It was like, oh, he's got a penalty. Well,
Marty's got another one. That's 6.
What is he doing? How is he doing these? Where is he? Oh, he's down there.
Jung Sao.
He's doing some grass cutting strategy. Well, he's pretty much
Bottas strategy. Is he going to tire in the pit lane. I think he will be.
Yeah, wouldn't have been past him. That's shame. He's not having a good afternoon. And
Oh.
5 seconds and retires. So there we go. There's the end of that one. That's a shame. But don't like seeing retirements. But it happens sometime. But up front, for all attempts the gap right now between first and second. Closing in still ever so slightly. But it's going to be a tall order, like we said, to really seal that win. Matty's driven perfectly. YHYY's driven faultlessly as well. But catching them, it's Chris very quickly. Almost a second now. Well, literally is a second. Being DRS here, I think, out of this corner.
Yeah, this could be quite interesting for some of these drivers who are in DRS at the moment. So that could be quite intense towards the end of this race. But tyre degradation could be key for some of these drivers because they could be
in DRS.
In DRS. So who is
Chris?
Why Chris as well?
It's going to get spicy, isn't it? Right, now you got some action. We've got, what 7
Bring
laps to go. This race has been a little bit quiet here and there, but now, all of a sudden, there is a chance of battling as here goes Cam up into 6th position in the meantime. So he's got that 6th position, so he's doing absolutely everything he can do right now in his power to keep this championship alive going onwards if Chris DNFs. That's the thing, though. Chris does not need to make a mistake. If he makes a mistake, this goes down to Abu Dhabi with a title under 25 points. It'll be down a little bit closer, but still going to be pretty reasonably interesting to see. But Chris needs to try and get... Does Chris want to get past these two right lowest questions? Does he want to battle them? Trip over yourself and end up out of this race? That's the thing. He's got to kind of go for his mind. It's got to be mentality, right? What's he going to do? Well, if I'm a racing driver and put a racing brain on, you go for it. You put your championship brain on, though, you probably also go for it. As here comes YHYY. Look, with DRS down towards turn 1. He close enough to get up the inside then. Of Matty up the inside. He goes down there. Braking. Is it going to get through nice and easily? Yes, they do. Slight bit of contact on the exit. But he's got the job done. But now, Matty is going to return the favour presumably pretty quickly with the help of DRS. Let's see. We better slipstream as well. Both of them are going to burn the ERS as well. So no one can do anything right there. As now it's all about just sit back again. Can Matty try and retake this one? Or is he going to fall into the clutches of Chris, who's looming now 4-3 attempts behind him? And like I said, these two battling ever so slightly as well. It cost him a little bit of time because now, look at it. Chris right up behind him. CR has just been passed by Lars. Lars now into 10th position yet again. So back
he's gained
into
more
that
places
position.
this race.
Yeah, whereas pushing up as well. Lars is also up there, like I said, into the top 11. So he's, into the top
12.
10. So doing well. Of course, top 12 score points here in a League of Europe as well. Here we go, good exit from Matty. Double bite of DRS, and you're going to imagine right now Whitehate's going to burn some ERS as well. So is Matty as well. Not going to burn all the ERS though, so he's just going to try and dummy him then. Close up a little bit in the first section and then try and get him down into Decido de Largo. Good exit of the turn number 1 into 2. That's going to be pretty key. Gets a pretty decent exit. 4 attempts to gap, so he's in the striking range, but not quite where he wants to be to make a lunge. And certainly not, as Whitehate burns some more ERS on to try and cover any opportunity of them. So Matty right now just playing a little bit more of a patient game. Behind him, Chris just closing in a little bit right now. He's just kind of waiting to see these guys take action. If one of these guys make a mistake, and then he can capitalise on them behind them. Then looking further down, what's Cam up to so far in 6th? He's got 5th and 4th. Not too far up the road either. Closing. Still haven't got the fast lap of this race, mind. So
that belongs to Ryan Belshaw in P14.
Yeah, Ryan Belshaw, P14. Fast lap of this race. Here we go. Out of Young Sowen. Is Chris close enough right now to think of a manoeuvre right now on Matty instead of Matty thinking a manoeuvre on YHYY? Not yet. They're all just kind of stuck together right now. It's all being dragged along by YHYY. But, well, like we said, Jess, it's going to take one mistake for it all to kick up.
And I swear to God, I really do hope that these drivers don't make a mistake. I really don't. But we'll have to wait and see as Matty's got very close. That was quite intense there. It almost ended up in pretty much a 2-car pile-up, and we don't want that. No, we don't want that, and I don't think we're going to get any safety cars at the moment. Saying that, there might be one in a minute, which I don't want to happen, so
they're pretty separated. Apart from these three here, these are the only 3 drivers in reasonably close contention. We've got Mick and Ryan not too far away as well, but I think those two are a little bit further back. But Matty needs to get a good exit out of this corner, really. He really needs to get him in about 0.3 of a second. Burn the ERS and then just try it. He's not close enough, though. That's the thing right now. Even with Slipstream, he's not close enough down here, and he's not getting close enough then down in towards turn number 1. He has the DRS, he has the pace, but just can't use any of what he has then to do it. Behind him, Chris is just sitting back. I don't think he's going to get involved in these two right now. He doesn't want to. And I think YH just, like I said, still has the opportunity down here. Still has the pace, and YH isn't pushing, but now YH is very much pushing. Now he's got no ERS to play, compared to Matty, who's got a bit more ERS to play. So now that little bit of mind games comes into it. Matty, who now can go, okay, he's used more ERS. I can go attack him now, can't he?
Yeah, I think they can really start pushing. I think this is going to be a grandstand finish between these 3. So fasten your seatbelts as well. We could see one of them launch for the attack. I think Chris is not going to go for the risk. If he's at where he is, he's champion, so he doesn't want to take any risk. If I was a person to take a risk, it will be Matty to try and get past YHYY again. So you almost had a bit of a tank slapper there, 3 junks out, but kept it under control. Who's on the better? The one who's on the better ERS is Matty. So he can use it when he gets very, very close, just a few temps shy. He can use DRS to pull him along. Heading towards turn number 1 as well with the sausage curve. We've got 3 laps to go of the Brazilian Grand Prix, the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And Chris just needs to bring it home where he is at the moment to secure this championship. And I don't know, I'm not entirely sure about the constructors, but again, we would feed you back on this in next week potentially as well, because we can't do mass on constructors because we are not good. So I was only told before the race that the constructors could be decided tonight, but if Chris does well, maybe if Chris wins the race, there could be constructors championships. We'll see on that. YHYY has gained pretty much 3 places, so I have to say, I think both YHYY and Matty both driven a stellar race. Even though Matty hasn't gained anything, he's had a lot of pressure from the likes of Chris, but he really put on the attack to really try and defend this. Is he going to go on the attack now? Is Chris
he's burning now. He's burning now.
Chris has hardly got any ERS, so Matty inside.
He's got the job done then. Dan's Wars turn 1 up the inside he goes, gets the job done. Now, though, is the key thing. Can he cover it straight back off, or is why he's going to suddenly come shooting back through like we saw earlier on? Both of them with no ERS. Both of them have got nothing to push. He's going to force the inside line ever so slightly, but Whitehead's can't quite do it. So we're going to have it. It's going to be a run down then in towards turn 1 for the last lap then, or it's going to be run to the line for the last couple of corners. You've seen it a few times before. Going to save all your ERS up really from now onwards then. If you get past down the straight, save it all up and then burn it, everything you've got, and I hope you can do it. Chris not too far behind either, and you got a chance. If I was Chris right now, I might consider a lunge, but you don't want to.
Don't want to, otherwise the championship fight will go to Abu Dhabi.
Yes, that's exactly the point. Unless he still finishes ahead of Cam, in which case he's over nonetheless, but he wants the podium. That's what he wants right now.
He wants to win ideally, but a podium won't be too bad for him. Final lap of this race coming up in just a few moments' time then. And we'll see if YHYY can have the risk that Matty did on the penultimate lap. He's got the DRS. He doesn't have much ERS. Yellow flag. That is unfortunately Brian B in a Mercedes has had a bit of an off there in set 2. So that's a bit of a shame. I don't think Chris is pushing that much, even though he's using his overtake at the moment. And so far, no, we've already had VSCs, no safety cars, which is great to see. So I think the only chance that YHYY will get is pretty much at the start-finish rate. We could have a photo finish, and we will have a new champion crown in just a few moments' time, touch wood.
Yeah, I don't think Whitehead's got anything to battle with Matty. Both of them have got the same amount of VRS. It's all going to be about who's got more slipstream power between these three drivers. And by the sounds of it, it's certainly going to be Whitehead's YY who's got the more closer batter behind him, because Matty's bolted a little bit right now. He's used a bit of VRS through there. He'll use as much of it as he can right now. He'll use everything. Both of them, all three of them will burn absolutely everything.
Matty's
to try
run
and
out
get
of fuel! Matty's run out of fuel!
I think he'll be fine. Matty's out of field. Chris up to line, and your champion of League of Europe up to line. Matty ran out of fuel, then right at the death of it, YHYY will take the victory from Chris. Matty with a few corners to go, runs completely dry. Cam up to line as well, and he will finish in 6th position. And he'll be a little bit disappointed in that one, but a thorough good season. Harry cross the line in 7th. Mick will cross the line 8th. Lars in 9th. But Chris, champion of the world.
Yes, to be honest, I wouldn't put it past him. He was, I think, the favourite going into the last few races. So, massive congratulations to Chris. And he's got no pressure going into Abu Dhabi now. He is your League of Europe Division 3 champion for this season. Well done, and I'm sure the guys at McLaren will definitely be celebrating tonight. And that marks it, I believe, our 3rd champion of League of Europe. Obviously, we had a Division 1 champion and a Division 4 champion, so we've got our 3rd champion, and it goes by the name of Chris.
Yeah, he's well deserved. Beautiful thing, isn't he? We like to see any champions, don't we, Jess?
Yeah, we do. I can't literally remember who won it last time out. I think it was Recurrit that won it last time out. But yeah, that makes it our 2nd champion, new champion in a row. And Chris will more than likely be in Division 2 next season. So we'll see how he does in Division 2, and if he could mix it against the big boys. But someone's asking in the chat, this is the first race with no safety car, and I think yes.
Maybe.
I think so, yeah. Mick almost underfueled as well, which was quite interesting as well. And yeah, I love the gift that Mr. Evil Dragon has put in the chat. Yeah, so we will run through your order. So the Finnish driver has won this race, and I have to give it as one of my driver of the days. I'm almost certain. Chris in 2nd, Matty 3rd, Ross 4th, Mort's 5th, Cam, Harry F, Mick, Lars, MTR, Ghost, Matt Tibbosh your top 12, Ryan, the 2 Ryan Beat in 13th and 14th, and then Marty, Naran, Sam, Slayer, and Maverick are your DNFs. Well, I have to say, the top 3 have driven very well. Ross drew very well as well. It's a tough to call, but I'm almost certain you have to give YHYY one of them for winning the race, and did a great move towards the end to secure that win, because Matty ran out of fuel.
Chris it because he won the title.
Yeah, he won the title. Yeah, Matty drove very well.
well.
Yeah, so I think I know it's a boring choice, Liam, but let's give it to our top 3 today, our driver of the day.
Yes.
Because they made the least mistakes out of everybody. So, yes. Apart from Matty, who ran out of fuel, but he had the pace anyway. So there we go. So well done to your top 3. There are our driver of the day nominations, which can vote on the poll later. But I will let you round off. No, we will wait to see if we got an interview. Because we want to interview our champion, hopefully. We got time. So we got about half an hour to go before our race. So at least we don't have to rush this time. We can speak to our lovely driver. So we'll see if anyone wants to speak to us. Doesn't look like it at the moment, but any final thoughts, Liam? Who else stand out apart from our top 3? Do you think any surprises?
I don't know. My mind has gone blank there.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were taking a while to say that, but yeah, I think Ross was very close. I think to getting a driver of the day, but the top 3 were just running away with it, weren't they? But Ross, I have to say, drove really well. Oh god, we got a bot. We got a bot in the chat.
Hello.
Oh,
hello, friend bot.
Oh, I hate bots, I have to say. You can tell I'm trying to drag this on a bit because we want to get Chris.
I think, well, Chris isn't.
Are you right?
Interview, so I think, yeah. I think we'll just round it off now, I think.
Yeah, I'll let you do the outro since I did the intro.
You know what, I'm gonna let you do the outro.
Oh, okay, fine. But saying that, as soon as I do the outro, someone will want to come and speak to us. So, thank you guys so much for watching the Brazilian Grand Prix, the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Next week is going to be very interesting because we have got the sprint race, the final sprint race of the season with Abu Dhabi. So we got one-shot qualifying, and then we got the sprint race, and then we got the normal 50% race. So if you know what it's like in real life, that's what we're going to do in Abu Dhabi. So join us in 7 days' time for that. A champion has been crowned, so it's all for fun. You can watch Division 2 and Division 4 in just under half an hour's time as they take to the circuit of Interlagos. And that'll be at 8:10. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for the finale of League of Europe this season. And yeah, have a good evening, everybody. And as I find the right scene, good night.